Hello everyone, and I am really happy to be a part of the story launch of this wonderful project led by Lyudmila Knapovska and TESOL Ukraine. And for those who don't know me, my name is Maryna Tsehelska. I work at the university. I volunteer for TESOL Ukraine, and I own the whole center with schools, franchisees, and by now we teach around 1,000 students in Kryvyi Rih only. Today we will be talking about the stories and how to craft stories. I I'm not a storyteller at all, and I will be sharing with you my own experience on how we teach storytelling in Interclass and what we do with all this. Let's start. I sometimes may be like distracted by the people who are joining, but I hope you understand. So, storytelling, and let me figure out what to do with the PowerPoint. If I do this way, then I can, yeah. And if I share it, then I also can. Yeah. So there will be two parts of my ideas. And today we will have this framework for building stories. I will share with you what we do with the students. And that will be very simple. And next Tuesday, there will be a very psychological workshop. We will be discussing what makes a story relatable and how we can write the stories that are really, really attracting for the listeners or the readers. So let's start. If you want more psychology next time, I hope you will join me as well. So you see what happens every time I am trying to admit a new participant. I can't do anything with the PowerPoint. Just give me a second. Again, I need to figure out what to do with it. Okay, so let me leave it this way here, because then I will be able to see the people whom I'm admitting, and then I won't be distracted by all this. Okay, this way, better. You can see it, I hope. Yeah. Okay. So let's start. Let's finally start here. So, what are my goals for today? First of all, I want to share what I know about storytelling. I want to show some tasks, and I hope to find some like-minded people, those who want to teach their students to write stories, and if you want, you can do it with me. Let me share my story first. And this is my story. After graduating from Kirovograd Pedagogical University in 1994, I started working at Kryvyi Rih State Pedagogical University in 1995. I defended my thesis in philology in 2001 and chaired the English language and methodology department in 2004. Academic year 2005-2006, I worked at Hawaii Pacific University as a Fulbright scholar. After coming back to Ukraine, I continued working at the university and started language courses, Interclass, in 2007. There, together with my colleagues, we have developed a system of effective teaching of English, which has now been used in numerous language schools. So, this is my story, and this is the website. This is the part of the website. Can you tell me, do you like this kind of a story? What is good about this story, or what is bad?
It's informative and it's short.
Very
The fact
thank you,
that
Ola.
it is
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And
it has a chronological order.
absolutely, this is not a story. Yeah? So this is actually a chronology, or we can say that this is a recount. So probably it's a great story, but it's extremely boring. Yeah? So, and to see that it's boring, we need to ask ourselves some questions. Like, is there any emotion?
No, just facts.
Yeah, so only facts. Are there any struggles or conflicts?
No.
Probably there were
No,
struggles,
there
but
isn't any charisma either. There is no charisma. There's nothing special about this
absolutely.
person. It just tell us, blah blah blah. The person was born and the person died. Literally like that. Sorry for this comparison.
No, thank you, because that is not the story, and that is what I want to tell you today. If I tell a story, I need something that shows emotion, shows a struggle or a conflict. It allows us to understand how I felt, what I thought, and what I realized as as a character, as a professional. And there probably will be a change if it's a good story. And also, if you met the story on social media, would you keep reading it? Probably no, yeah? Because this is not a good story. So let's see what makes a good story and what you already know. So I started from the university, and at the university, we all are taught lots of facts about storytelling. Here are my facts, the facts I remember from university and trainings. I know the elements of a story. I know the structure, exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and so on. I know the descriptive language is important and it has to appeal to five senses. And I also know that they have to be dialects. This is what I know for sure about a good story. So, what do you know? Tell me, please, what would you add to this list? Ella, come on. Yeah. So, what do you
Yeah.
know about a story?
So I would add here linking elements and stylistic devices.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Linking elements would help, plus stylistic devices. Does it help to write a story? Does it help to teach you to write a story? Like, can you write stories when you know all this?
I'm really sorry. Could you please explain stylistic devices? What does it mean?
Usually they
Metaphors,
are
epithets.
metaphor, yeah. metonymies, and so on. Yeah. So they are from the course of literary analysis at the university. Yeah? Really, really helpful. Like it's really good to know all this, but it doesn't help you to write. And especially when we create something for social nets, for Facebook or Instagram, this is when it's difficult to do because we know all this. We know the elements, we know the exposition, rise in action, the descriptive language, but it's still very difficult. Yeah? And the ideas that we usually meet when we attend various workshops. Yeah? So, storytelling is good for business. Storytelling marketing is something that helps us connect to the client, to anyone. This is for those who attended Mark Powell's presentation. What are the missing words? Who remembers? So he said, in words we think, in stories we link. Like perfect, good. I would love to link with people. Yeah. So you remember the ABT structure from Lucia, from Mark. This is great. And what else do you know about storytelling? Just write any idea you have in the chat if I have missed anything. Elements, exposition, descriptive language, dialogues, linking elements, what is it for, then how we link, some structures. Is there anything that I have missed? Is there, I see the answers. Yeah, Great, Ola, great. There will be some stories with a hook to attract and keep attention. Plot is important, absolutely. The narrator and the audience, we know this, yeah, and plot and climax. Okay, great, thank you. Now, my other question is for the chat as well. Can you teach how to write a good story? Thank you, Fidan. I see emotion, strong idea, humor. Great. You all have students. Have you ever taught story writing? Because we teach language, and probably teaching language involves teaching stories, making stories. Have you ever learned writing stories or story writing? And please tell, how did you were you successful or not? And if you were successful, how did you make it so that you saw that it worked great? Like you taught a story and you read the story and you understand that it's not only a good story, but also it follows certain criteria. You can easily check it. It's not from ChatGPT or Gemini, because now storytelling, it's a special, like a special craft. Have you ever had this kind of an experience? And can you say that you were a success? Mhm. Okay, same with me. Yeah. So I attended like not hundreds, but okay. So I see answers in the chat. Aha, Aizel, you think that, yeah, one of your students, she reads. Yeah, we all believe, as teachers, we all believe that reading makes or like brings up good storytellers. But we also read a lot. And are we good storytellers? When we need to like think of something to like we have photos, we post photos on Facebook, and we need to think of something different or interesting or innovative. We usually end up with what a great day it was when I met my friends, and several hearts, yeah, or something like this. The pictures tell a story, but it's still not you, and it's not the story as a story. So I don't see in the chat successful storytellers, so probably next time when it's more psychological, you will you will show your ideas, and yeah. I have the same situation. I was always lost in ideas. I have no idea how to compile all them into something really structured. So, of course, if you can't do it, you go and teach, and that's what I did, and that's what I will do with you today, because I am still not a good storyteller, but at least I know how to do it. And at least our students write the stories that we can check, and they're pretty successful at the exams. So, as I have already mentioned, so I own language schools, and we have developed like hundreds of maps. We call them maps or metacognitive schemes, and they all show a certain system. They all make it easier for our students to learn. And these are the maps from many, many years ago. You see that I had these ideas of characters, they have emotions, they react, they have experiences. I also made a map on personality traits, which show intelligence, communication, nature, and working style, positive, negative. And like numerous, these are just to name a few. These are different types of metacognitive schemes that try to somehow organize the information, and they work to a certain like to a certain moment. But of course, they don't teach you how to write a story. We even have a map like this. It's about a story review, when our students can write the review, the title, the author, genre, setting, characters. But again, it's about the story. It's not the story itself. So that was the warm up, and we finally come to the most interesting moment. At a certain moment, I understood that we didn't teach stories because there was no need. You can't decide that you want to teach a story and just start teaching a story if they are not in your curriculum, if your students are not ready, if you don't have the goal of bringing up storytellers or teaching storytellers, and many other things connected with it. But we started doing Cambridge exams, and now Cambridge exams are a part of the course. Like all students, they prepare for them using our materials, but they don't have to take Cambridge exams. We use Cambridge exams as the benchmarks, as something that helps students to understand what level they are at. And Cambridge exams, they like part of Cambridge exams includes storytelling, productive skills such as like speaking. This is a picture, or this is a task for speaking. This is a task for writing. Yeah? At two levels, and you know that there are two of them flyers, they are young learners, and flyers, and CAT or A2 key for schools exam. So these are the stories, or these are the pictures for creating stories. Then at a higher level, at B1, students have to write a story out of a given sentence. And finally, at a B2 level, students are given a prompt, and it is close to writing a story from a given sentence. They are given a prompt, and they need to include some elements of a story. Can you please tell me or share, like, have you had any experience in teaching to Cambridge exams, in preparing for Cambridge exams, and doing stories, like teaching stories? If no, then you will have the whole world ahead of you, because I consider these tasks really important for the students. I couldn't tell my colleagues, just teach a story. But if a story is a part of something bigger, here are exams, then a story is, you need to teach it. And then you need to develop something, some steps. So you have all this. Yeah? We use Cambridge materials, but not really. What would you start with? Like here, for example, what would you start with? What knowledge do you think your students will require to do well in the exams? You may write in the chart, or you may just say.
Well, just this should be something that reflects their own life experience and that taps to them. If we, for example, ask school kids at A2 level to describe the pictures where they come to the shop and complain about the broken refrigerator, that would never work because this is the experience that is not theirs, and this is something that they never do in real life. So the pictures should reflect the authentic life situations to which kids should respond. And definitely certain grammar structures, certain vocabulary, and certain pragmatic elements just to put the vocabulary into proper grammar structures. So, on the one hand, some kind of language, on the other hand, some kind of background knowledge and the authentic input that would provoke them to write something meaningful to them.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. And I also have, like in the chat, we also have the answers. Yeah, identifying beginning, climax, and end events. Yes, Ola, exactly. Yeah, Parvana, imagination and vocabulary. Yeah, use your imagination. Go on. Yeah, but that's true. They need to do it. Yeah, especially, when you live in Kryvyi Rih, it's war, and kids are always traumatized. Choose a narrator whose point of view is exposed. Yeah, yeah. So, but again, remember, they're the fifth grade kids. Yeah? And you want to give them the knowledge that they will probably need grammar and outlook. Yeah, but it's much, in my case, it's much simpler. What we did, we started with story elements, of course. Every story has place, time, characters, and what I really like, every story has a problem and a solution. If it's a story, there has to be a problem and there has to be a solution. What is the problem in this case, in this first pictures for flyers? The problem is that there is setting, there are characters, there is time, and there is the problem. They see a cat in the tree, and there is a solution. The teacher helps to solve, the teacher helps to rescue the cat. Here, again, what is the problem? The guy is bored, it's a boring morning, so he solves it this way. And here we have the step 1 in writing a story. Identify your place, time, characters, but also what is the problem and how it will be solved. Then the story becomes a story just a little bit more. It's not a story yet, but finding a problem and a solution really helps our students to develop the so-called problem-solving thinking. And just Google this. Problem-solving thinking is the great idea of like teaching your kids, because then every time, in every situation, they will think it like this. What is the problem and what will the solution be? I tried it many times with different kids. For example, they sit here in the classroom and they need to go home, and we can ask them, what can a problem be? And they will tell you. There can be rain and I have no umbrella. They can be bad weather, or my parents won't pick me up, or something like this. And this is a story step 1. We have a problem. And then we need a lot to solve it. So, number 1, we need a problem and we need a solution. But still, it's not a story. When we talk about people or when we talk about characters, we certainly need to talk about emotions. And we have story, we have problem solution, and we do need to have some emotions. When we get back to these stories, we will see that each of them is based on the emotions. Like, what are the emotions here in this first story with the brave teacher?
Probably excitement.
Excitement is in the end, but what is here?
Surprised.
Yeah, kids
They're
are
surprised.
surprised. Then
Well, curious, I don't know. Curious.
they get curious. Yeah, they get curious. What is there? They may be surprised with the noise. Maybe they don't see it at once. Yeah. So then they get curious. Then
They get excited.
Empathy.
but what is the emotion?
Empathy.
They get empathetic. I don't think fifth graders can do it. What is the emotion? They're sorry for the
worry.
cat. Yeah, they're sorry, or they may be. What about the teacher? They may be. How can they feel about the teacher? They may worry about her. Yeah? She's obviously not a teacher of the physical training of PE, so they may get worried, or they may be worried about the cat, or they may they may do anything here. So, and then what is the final emotion?
Happiness.
Yeah, here finally they're happy, excited, and so on. If we could make a curve, yeah, every story is a curve of emotions. And if we could make a curve, we would see that usually a story starts, or very often, a story starts with pretty neutral emotions. Or in our second story, it's a negative emotion. The story starts with neutral emotions. The students were listening in the class, the teacher was okay. But then the tension starts growing. Yeah? They heard the noise. They
Marina, I'm sorry. Maybe they get distracted, if there's a first picture.
I don't think Alina talks to me. Yeah. So, and they get worried. Yeah. So, and we can feel this tension when we watch a movie or when we look at the picture. But when I tell you students got worried or students worried about the cat, it doesn't tell you anything. But still, we have the emotional curve. Then the teacher climbs the tree, which is pretty dangerous, and still you can't relate to this, but it's already something. It's not just the recount. And finally, kids got happy. So this is the curve. And if you think about any story or about any film or about anything, you will probably notice that it has curves. And everything that we have in the story is in the curve. Yeah? So we go from neutral to rising anxiety, and then finally we have this relief. This is a very classical curve. Next time we will talk about other curves. Or you can even ask your students, I like this curve. This is very simple. Yeah? So, and this is the curve that shows us how you feel during the day. And again, neutral, fine, then negative emotions, positive emotions, and how you get satisfied, excited, anxious, energetic, sad, and so on. So, what is special about story curves? Why do you think story curves are so important in a story? Please share your opinion or write in the chat.
So, well, maybe to attract the attention of the audience, of the students or listeners.
Absolutely. We need to listen. Would you watch the film which only showed you the events without the emotion? Would you watch the film that only showed you happy events? Even it's the happiest film ever. It's boring. Yeah. So let me check the chats. Yeah, very good. Suspense. Yeah, they make things reliable. Absolutely. Yeah, so that is how we relate. We relate through emotions. We don't relate through events. We relate through emotions. How emotions, of course, they create suspense, they create interest. Yeah? So, and this is how we relate to our reader or to a listener. Yeah? So this idea came to me after I watched one video on why some blockbusters, though they are very, very, very expensive, are not popular. And the answer is they don't have the emotional curve. They only have fights. They only have lots of money invested. They have this masculine man feminine women, but they don't have the emotional curve. So here, like our lesson here, we need story elements. We also need problem and solution, and we definitely need emotions. Let's talk about emotions deeper. As soon as I understood that emotions are important, we started doing different exercises, different tasks with kids that bring us to the idea of show, don't tell language. Because you don't want me to say that the kids were scared or the teacher was unhappy. No, that is not a good language. The good language for this would be to show and not to tell. And how can we show? How do we show it? So our students have, again, this is a simple table, and it shows, we call it emotions, feels, thinks, says, does, or feel, think, say, do. Yeah? So emotions are divided into negative, positive, neutral, and we may think of what people, when they are afraid of, what do they think? What do they say? And what do they do? And this is a great exercise if you do storytelling. But you need to start with visuals because emotions are very closely linked or connected to the visual first until you start recognizing them through the words. And students who need, like all our students, need to develop their social emotional literacy. So, and for this, we use pictures. Again, they are pictures, they are flyers pictures. And I have already showed how we do it in summer, and this is my second try. Yeah. So here is the picture. And this is the story, which is called The New Friend. I call these kids Anya and Vasil. In reality, they may be Sophia and Georgia, which actually doesn't matter. So tell me, please, who are the main characters of this story? Main characters. You may write in the chat, or you can tell me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously they are Sophia and George, or Anya and Vasil. In my case, they were Anya and Vasil because I just wanted to make them closer to kids. Yeah, because this is a very common situation. So let's say they are Anya and Vasil. Yeah. So what is the problem here? Again, see how easy it is if you identify the problem first. What is the problem?
First day anxiety.
No, the problem is not the anxiety. The problem is not in the feelings. The problem is in action. What is the problem here? Yeah,
new girl is
absolutely.
aloof.
The new girl is aloof. The new girl is lonely. Yeah. I don't think there is bullying. I think she's just lonely. Yeah. So, and Anya is a new girl. She's lonely. Yeah. What about Vasil? What can we tell about Vasil?
He's a very communicative person and just has a lot of friends.
Good. Or maybe he likes her. Maybe he immediately liked her, yeah, when he saw her. And yeah, thank you, Diana. Yeah, he likes her. Maybe it's a love story. We don't know. Yeah? So, and the problem is that Anya is lonely. Vasil likes her, and what else? There is another step in the problem. Mhm. She's lonely because, think of this. Look at the picture and tell me, why is she lonely? I'll give you just 2 minutes.
Sorry, is she
Yeah,
one eye?
just look at the picture and think of this. Yeah, so what is the problem and what is the solution? And then we'll go to a different mode. Okay, I'm back. The problem and the solution here. Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. Yeah. So she's the newcomer. She's shy. Absolutely. They don't accept her into their company. And finally, Vasil dares to take her in, and that is how she becomes a part in the class. Absolutely, Parvan. She is quiet, and this is the problem is her loneliness, which is caused maybe because she's quiet or anything else. Yeah, something. I know, Oksana Alexandrovna, that something seems to be wrong with her eye, but that was not the question. I don't think it's for kids. Yeah, I think maybe the eyes are swollen. She feels like she's going to cry. Okay, so and what we do? Imagine we have the pictures like this, and we have students, let's say sixth grade. So what we'll do? We will combine these two ideas. The idea of telling a story like this. Yeah, the teacher came into the classroom with a new girl. At lunch, everyone went to the cafeteria. Anya was alone. After school, the classmates went to play basketball. Anya sat on a bench with a book. Vasil went up to Anya and asked if she wanted to play. Anya joined the game and played with her new classmates. So these are just the events. But we remember about emotions, and we remember about the show don't tell language. So how can we do it? How can we tell a story that would be more relatable, not telling us about the feelings, but showing the feelings? How can we tell a story that will show a feeling? And here we have this wonderful idea of SFL. Yeah, it's about what a person feels, what a person thinks, what a person says, what a character says, and what a character does. And here is the story itself. Let's look at it, and I will give you just how much will you need? Do you want to be in the breakout rooms, or you can just work by your own? And I think you will need 5 minutes to write a good story. You don't need to tell about the emotions. Pick up the important elements of feelings, thoughts, words, and actions to show us what happened. Do you want breakout rooms or you want just to work alone? So just work by your own 5 minutes. And I will send it to our chat. No, not to the chat, but to the Telegram group. To the chat as well. So let's start, and let's try to do it together. So who would you like to start? Well, I feel you have the beginning. Ella, can you?
Okay. Well, I have just started.
It's okay. You understand that you will probably need more time. We can't do
Yeah.
it in 5 minutes, but our aim now is to get this feeling of the show, don't tell language. Yeah, come on.
It happened before the second lesson. The teacher came into the classroom and said, "Children, please meet a new student. Her name is Anya." Anya was standing in front of the class, looking at the floor. She thought, "So many strangers. How will I study here? They are looking at me." Well, and that's it.
Perfect. We can also show that she was scared, but she still needed to be polite, and we can continue. But she didn't say this. She said good morning in a low voice and walked to her seat. Do we need all this about Vasil? Do we need to use all this? Vasil was surprised, a new girl. Do we need all these feelings, thoughts, and words of Vasil? What's your feeling of future as future writers? Anna, do you think we need all this?
I think it depends on whom we are going to make the focus of the story. And we can focus more on this one person because it's impossible to fit everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. We need the dynamics. We don't need to tell about everybody's feelings in the class. what will show us that Vasilia was interested? What phrase will show us that he got interested? Like instead of Vasil watched her go, I had Ella. Do you have an idea?
Vasil turned her head and followed her with his eyes, followed her walking with his eyes.
That's it. That's it. And followed her with his eyes to the seat. Yeah? So, and here in this phrase, we already have everything. We see that he's surprised or he followed her, like he probably got interested. But in this, here, the focus is on Anya. Let's do the second line and let's see where we can focus here. We obviously need linking words here. Yeah. So, and we can say at lunch, soon after that, in an hour, after the bell rang, or something like this, everyone went to the cafeteria. Yeah. So, what do we need here to show this tension? That Anya was alone and Vasilia was feeling worried about her. Come on, unlock your creativity. Anna, I see your creative potential. Come on.
Maybe he was looking back and forth at her during the process, or he was I don't know, his body language was moving around a lot. That could indicate that he was worried about her and was thinking about inviting her to sit with them.
Okay, perfect. We want to somehow emphasize this, that he wanted to invite her. How can we show it? I liked one girl's idea. She said, at the cafeteria, everyone was very loud. And Vasil, who was sitting with his friends, didn't answer or didn't laugh. He kept looking at Anya, who was lonely or who was looking at her plate. Yeah? Like this. The feeling of loneliness has to be contrasted with this feeling of shouting, like with the feeling of belonging. Yeah. So the importance here is that everyone needs to belong, and she didn't. So how do we show it? She was staring into her plate, or she had her shoulders low, or just anything that will show that she didn't feel well. She didn't feel accepted. So for the next time, that will be our task. I will send you the PowerPoint and please think about this story and try to play with it. Try to make it dynamic, first of all, because try to make it dynamic because you need to show the reader the curve, but you don't need to tell everything. And now my question is to you as teachers. If we give this chart with, or we can give it to older students, to the students who are in the 7th, 8th, 9th grades. We usually give this chart only with pictures, and we don't do this. We ask them to think about it, about feelings, thoughts, words, and actions. What is the potential here? What is the educating potential? Why is it important, especially now?
Because there are a lot of new people coming in from different places, you know, a lot of IDBs. That's why, you know, there are lots of stories about children being
Absolutely,
aloof
Alina.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah, you have to
yeah,
be,
very good.
you know,
Mhm.
friendly, inviting, inclusive, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a lot of people come and go. And,
Yeah. So very often we accept, or students accept this particular story as a story of an IDP girl. Yeah, and it teaches them a moral lesson as well. It shows the feelings. Of course, it shows, like it teaches them to analyze other people's feelings, because they usually can't name even their own feelings, which is natural. But also it teaches them a moral. There is a moral, and it teaches them good behavior, how you need to behave in this type of a situation. So we have emotions, we have the problem and solution, we have feel, think, say, and do, which is an SFL, like ideas from systemic functional linguistics. It really helped me a lot. And of course, we do a lot of narrative tenses. I won't practice narrative tenses with you now, but when we ask our students to talk about a memorable event, they usually need to think of a setting, a situation, the main event, what happened, then what their reaction was, and why was it so special? Why? What is the lesson that you have learned? Why is it important? It's not because you ate ice cream or you did something special, but again, it's about the emotional curve of the story. Yeah. So I leave you now with these ideas, which, like from today's lesson, you need, I hope, you have got the idea that the story is about actions, about emotion, but also about a moral. I love, if you haven't watched, you will have the PowerPoint, and you will be able to watch this video. Wing Gang, or Zhang, is a business trainer. He is a soft skill trainer, and he has a wonderful video, which was my first step in understanding storytelling. It really helped me a lot. In this video, he mentions lots of elements of a story, but like the main idea, the gist is, if you want to tell a story, think about 3 elements. What happened? How you felt? Why you felt this way, and show it. And why are you telling this? What is the moral this? And then that is a powerful story. So, and at this moment, we're coming back to my own story. And this is already a chance to see the story from a different angle, and I will read it to you now. When I graduated from Kirovograd Pedagogical University, I thought I knew how teaching worked. But very quickly, in my first years at Kryvyi Rih State Pedagogical University, I realized something important. Students didn't need more information. They needed clarity. Yeah? So at first, everything is fine. I'm happy. But then there is a problem. My students don't need the information that I know. They need clarity. They need something that will really teach them. Yeah? I spent days teaching at the university and evenings tutoring because my salary wasn't high. Problem I relate to my readers. And that's when I started thinking there must be a better way to teach and a better way to learn. And this is already about think, feel, and do. This is about descriptive language. In 2005, everything changed. Yeah, so the peak of the problem. My Fulbright year at Hawaii Pacific University showed me a completely different model of education, one where thinking drives language and students learn through creativity, connection, and meaning. I remember sitting in an American classroom and thinking, why don't we do this in Ukraine? So, when I returned home in 2007, I made a decision to build a system that helps teach better and helps students think better. We started Interclass with one small room and big ideas. Year by year, lesson by lesson, map by map, we created a teaching system that now helps students across Ukraine. And I'm still on the journey today because every story starts with a question. How do we teach in a way that truly works? So this is my story. And this is a story that includes emotional curve, an emotional curve. Yeah? I was happy first. Then I started worrying. I got anxious, but I got my answers. And still, I'm still working at what is going on. And this story, of course, it's not me who wrote the story, it's ChatGPT, yeah. But I keep prompting it and I keep learning from it. And you see that this story has an emotion, yeah. I was confused, I got an insight, I was motivated, and finally got my mission. It has a conflict, yeah. Then there is change. Then there is a message, there is a moral, and there is a character arc. We'll talk about it next time. Then there is feel, think, say, do structure, and which helps to make it more dynamic, which helps to make my story more like real, more true to life. And there is a story curve, which is connected with the emotional curve. So that's it for today. And for the next time, please try to create your own story. Just tell us about yourself. And you may write your story, or if you want, you may read it to us next time. But the idea is do a teaching, like do this emotional curve. Think of something that is about a feeling, actions, and message. And do emotional curves, like bring us to the feelings that you had and tell us not what you felt in words, but how was it? Were there butterflies in your stomach, or you were sweating, or you were trembling with anger, or your eyes were red and you were shouting? Maybe there was something that will show us how scared you were. So just anything you feel is good for your story. Do it with a story curve, with a problem and solution. And next time I will tell you more about an interesting story, but that will be very psychological. Next time we will learn what happens, like why all the films are so disappointing, why there is no true love from the very beginning, and they never have marriage and they never live happily ever after. Because then, if you remember the TV show Friends, and when they met after 30 years or 20 years, and they were asked, why didn't you proceed? Why didn't you continue? Yeah? And the answer was, because we wanted to keep it at this point. Otherwise, we would need conflicts to drive the plot. And we didn't want to show the conflicts because a story is about a problem and your response. So, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please ask. If you don't, thank you for your thanks. You were a great audience. I'm sorry we didn't have breakout rooms, but I just need to share all my wisdom with you here. And again, the PowerPoint is yours. And if you feel that you have more questions or you need my materials, I'll be happy to share them because this is a great journey. This is a great story of how you teach storytelling. It is full of problems, solutions, different types of emotional curves, but it's definitely not boring because this is quite innovative. Okay, thank you so much. That's all for today. I'll send you the recording. And if you have any questions, please ask them next time. Thank you and bye-bye.